I'm standing outside the Crystal Garden Hotel, and my hands won't stop shaking. 6 years. It's been 6 whole years since I walked away from my family, and now I'm about to walk back into their world like nothing ever happened. Except everything happened. Everything changed. My phone buzzes in my pocket. It's Marcus, my business partner. Riley, you sure about this? You don't owe them anything. He's right. I don't owe them anything. But my grandmother. Grandma Helena is turning 80 tonight, and she's the only person in that building who ever believed in me. The only one who saw me as more than just the problem child. I looked down at my outfit. A custom-tailored navy suit that costs more than my childhood home's monthly mortgage. Italian leather shoes that could probably pay for a semester of college. A watch that tells more than time. It tells a story of success they never thought I'd achieve. But here's the thing nobody tells you about success. It doesn't erase the past. It just gives you better armor when you face it. The hotel doors slide open and I step inside. The lobby is exactly how I remember it. All marble floors and crystal chandeliers. My family always did love their appearances. Looking rich was more important than actually being kind. Riley. A voice stops me cold. I turn and there's my cousin Nina. Her eyes go wide like she's seen a ghost. Oh my God, is that really you? Hey Nina. I manage a smile. You look different. Really different. She's staring at me like I'm some kind of alien. I heard you were doing okay, but I didn't realize. She doesn't finish the sentence. She doesn't need to. I know what she's thinking. The last time she saw me, I was 24 years old, wearing thrift store clothes, driving a car that barely started, and being mocked at every family gathering for my ridiculous dreams. I was the family joke back then. The daughter who thought she could make it in the tech world. The fool who believed she could build something from nothing. My mother, Catherine, used to introduce me at parties like this. This is Riley, our creative one. She's still figuring things out. The emphasis on still always cut like a knife. Meanwhile, my sister Olivia was the golden child. Perfect grades, perfect career, perfect life. She married a lawyer, lived in the suburbs, and did everything exactly the way my parents wanted. And me? I was the disappointment. The black sheep. The one they whispered about when they thought I couldn't hear. Where's everyone? I asked Nina. Upstairs in the grand ballroom. The party started an hour ago, but you know how these things are. She hesitates. Riley, does anyone know you're coming? Grandma Helena invited me. Nina's expression shifts. Just be careful, okay? Your mom has been acting weird lately. Really controlling about tonight's guest list and who gets to speak. A warning bell rings in my head, but I ignore it. I didn't drive 3 hours to turn back now. We take the elevator to the 3rd floor. And with each passing second my heart pounds harder. The doors open and I hear it. The sound of laughter and music and clinking glasses. The sound of a family celebration that I haven't been part of in 6 years. I walk down the hallway, and the ballroom doors are wide open. I can see inside. About 100 people, all dressed in their finest, all celebrating. And there at the center table, wearing a silver dress and a tiara, is Grandma Helena. She looks older, frielier, but when her eyes meet mine across the room, they light up with pure joy. That's when I notice the conversation starting to die down. One by one, people turn to look at me. The whispers begin like a wave spreading across water. Is that Riley? Oh my God, when did she get back? Look at that suit. Is that designer? My mother stands up from her table. Catherine Monroe, real estate mogul, social climber, and the woman who spent my entire childhood comparing me to my sister. Her face goes through about 5 different emotions in 3 seconds. Shock, confusion, anger, and something else I can't quite read. Riley. Her voice carries across the now silent room. What are you doing here? Not welcome home. Not I've missed you. Just, what are you doing here? Grandma Helena invited me. I keep my voice steady, calm. 6 years of therapy taught me not to react to her provocations. Did she? My mother's smile is tight, forced. How unexpected. Olivia appears beside her. And wow, my sister hasn't changed at all. Same condescending smile. Same way of looking at me like I'm something she scraped off her shoe. Little sister, Olivia says sweetly. Too sweetly. It's been so long. We were starting to think you'd forgotten about us. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so painful. They were the ones who made it clear I wasn't welcome. They were the ones who laughed at my dreams, mocked my ambitions, and celebrated when I failed. I remember the last family dinner 6 years ago. I was pitching my business idea. A cybersecurity consulting firm that would help small businesses protect their data. I'd spent months developing the concept, researching the market, building a prototype. My father had laughed. Actually laughed. Cybersecurity? Riley, you barely passed your computer classes in college. Who's going to hire you? My mother had sighed that long-suffering sigh she always made when I disappointed her. Honey, maybe it's time to consider something more realistic. Olivia's company is hiring. I'm sure she could get you an assistant position. An assistant position. After I'd worked 3 jobs to put myself through college while Olivia's education was fully paid for. And Olivia? She'd smiled that same sweet smile she's wearing now and said, I'd love to help you, Riley. Everyone needs to start somewhere, even if it's a little late. That night, I'd gone home to my tiny apartment and cried until I couldn't breathe. Then I'd made a decision. I was done seeking their approval. Done waiting for them to see my worth. Done playing the role of family disappointment. I'd walked away, changed my phone number, blocked them on social media, disappeared. And I'd built my company anyway. Monroe Security Solutions. Just me, a laptop, and a determination to prove them all wrong. I haven't forgotten anything, I say now, meeting Olivia's fake smile with a real one. I've been busy. Busy. My mother's tone is sharp. Too busy to call your own mother for 6 years? Before I can respond, Grandma Helena's voice cuts through the tension. Riley, come here, sweetheart. I cross the ballroom floor, aware that every single person is watching me. Their eyes follow my expensive suit, my confident walk, the success that radiates from every pore. This isn't the same broken girl who left 6 years ago. This is someone new. Someone stronger. Grandma Helena pulls me into a hug that smells like lavender and old books. You came, she whispers. I wasn't sure you would. I wouldn't miss your birthday for anything. You look wonderful. Successful. She pulls back and studies my face. But there's something else. What's wrong? That's when I notice it. A man I don't recognize standing near my mother. He's wearing a suit, but there's something about him that screams professional observer. He's watching me with an intensity that makes my skin crawl. Grandma, who's that? Her expression darkens. Riley, there's something I need to tell you. Your mother has been. Helena. My mother's voice interrupts. She's suddenly beside us, her hand gripping my grandmother's arm a little too tightly. Let's not bore Riley with family business on your special night. But Grandma Helena doesn't look away from me. Catherine hired investigators, Riley. Private investigators. She's been trying to dig up dirt on you for months. The words hit me like a physical blow. What? My mother's face flushes red. Mother, this is not the time or place. She told everyone you were lying about your success. Grandma Helena continues, her voice getting louder. She said you were probably in debt, living in some rundown apartment, pretending to be someone you're not. She hired those men to prove it. The ballroom has gone completely silent. 100 people holding their breath, watching this family drama unfold like it's a reality TV show. I turn to my mother slowly. You hired investigators? To prove I was lying. Catherine lifts her chin defiantly. You disappeared for 6 years, Riley. No calls, no visits, no explanation. Then suddenly Grandma says you're some successful businesswoman? Forgive me for being skeptical. Skeptical. I can feel the anger rising in my chest. You couldn't just be happy for me? Couldn't just accept that maybe, just maybe, I succeeded without your approval? Without proof? How do we know anything you claim is true? Olivia chimes in. For all we know, you borrowed that suit and rented a car just to impress everyone. The laugh that escapes my throat surprises even me. It's not bitter or angry. It's genuinely amused. Because the irony of what's about to happen is absolutely perfect. You want proof. I pull out my phone. I can show you proof. But before I can open my banking app, Grandma Helena speaks again. Her voice is quiet, but in the silent room, everyone hears it clearly. Catherine, you might want to stop talking. Right now. My mother turns to her. Mother, I don't know what Riley has told you, but it's not what Riley told me. Grandma Helena's eyes are ice cold. It's what your investigators found. My mother goes pale. Like ghost white pale. And that's when I realize something. Something big. Something that changes everything. The investigators didn't just investigate me. They investigated everyone. Including my mother. Grandma. I ask carefully. What did they find? She looks at my mother, and for the first time in my life, I see Catherine Monroe look genuinely afraid. Tell her, Grandma Helena says. Or I will. The silence in the ballroom is so thick you could cut it with a knife. My mother's mouth opens and closes like a fish out of water. No words come out. For the first time in my entire life, Catherine Monroe is speechless. Someone better start explaining. I say, my voice harder than I intended. Now. Grandma Helena reaches into her purse and pulls out a manila folder. It's thick, stuffed with documents, and when she drops it on the table, the sound echoes like a gunshot. 3 months ago, she begins, your mother came to me with concerns about you. She said she'd heard rumors that you were involved in something illegal, that you were scamming people, using a fake business as a front for fraud. My jaw drops. She told you what? I didn't believe her, of course. But Catherine was insistent. She wanted to hire private investigators to prove you were a criminal, to protect the family name from embarrassment. Grandma Helena's eyes flash with anger. She asked me to fund the investigation. Oh, this keeps getting better. And did you? I asked. I did. But not for the reasons she thought. Grandma Helena opens the folder. I told her I'd pay for the investigation, but only if the investigators checked everyone's background. The entire family. If we were going to go digging into people's lives, we'd do it fairly. My mother makes a strangled sound. Mother, you can't be serious. I am completely serious, Catherine. Grandma Helena pulls out a document and slides it across the table toward me. Riley, your mother didn't just want to investigate you. She wanted to destroy you. She told the investigators to find anything. Debts, legal troubles, failed relationships, anything that would prove you were a fraud. I pick up the document. It's a contract with Hartwell Investigations, signed by my mother 3 months ago. The scope of work is extensive. Bank records, employment history, rental agreements, legal filings, criminal background checks. They were authorized to dig through every corner of my life. How much did this cost? I whisper. $35,000, Grandma Helena says, which your mother withdrew from the family trust fund without authorization. Wait, what? The family trust fund? I look at my mother. The trust fund that's supposed to be for Grandma's medical care? My mother's face is now bright red. I was going to replace it. With what money? Grandma Helena's voice is ice. You're 3 months behind on your mortgage, Catherine. Your credit cards are maxed out. The real estate business hasn't closed a sale in 8 months. You could hear a pin drop. People are pulling out their phones now, probably texting friends about this drama. This is going to be all over Willow Creek by morning. That's not true, my mother says, but her voice wavers. We're just going through a slow period. A slow period? I recognize that voice. It's my father, Robert Monroe, pushing through the crowd. His face is red and he looks furious. Catherine, what the hell is she talking about? You said the business was fine. You said we were fine. My mother looks like she's about to faint. Grandma Helena isn't done. She pulls out another document. The investigators were very thorough. They discovered that Monroe Real Estate has been operating at a loss for 2 years. The office lease is in arrears. There are pending lawsuits from 3 separate clients claiming fraud and misrepresentation. Oh my God. But that's not the worst part, Grandma Helena continues. She looks at me, and there's genuine sadness in her eyes. Riley, do you remember the college fund your grandfather set up for you? My heart stops. The fund that disappeared? It didn't disappear. She slides another document toward me. Your mother withdrew it. All $75,000. She told your grandfather it was for your education, but actually used it to cover business debts. The room starts spinning. That fund, that college fund was supposed to pay for my last 2 years of school. When it disappeared, I'd had to drop out for a semester, work 3 jobs, and take out massive student loans to finish my degree. My mother had told me there was some kind of banking error, some kind of legal freeze. She'd said she was working with lawyers to get it back, but these things took time. She'd looked me in the eyes and lied. While I was eating ramen noodles for dinner and working overnight shifts at a warehouse, she was using my education money to save her failing business. You stole from me, I say quietly. You stole my college fund, and then you mocked me for being poor. Riley, it's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. I'm shouting now and I don't care. 6 years of suppressed anger is erupting like a volcano. You took my money, ruined my education, and then spent Thanksgiving dinner telling everyone I was irresponsible with finances. You said I was probably in debt because I made bad choices. My father is staring at my mother like he's never seen her before. Catherine, please tell me this isn't true. She doesn't answer. That's answer enough. Olivia, ever the golden child, tries to defend her. Dad, there has to be an explanation. Mom wouldn't. Your mother also took $40,000 from Olivia's trust fund. Grandma Helena interrupts. The investigators found that too. Olivia's face goes white. What? Your wedding fund, Grandma Helena says gently. The $100,000 your grandfather left for your wedding? Catherine withdrew $40,000 last year. Told the bank it was for wedding expenses, but actually used it to pay off credit card debt. My sister looks like she's been slapped. My wedding is in 3 months. You told me we had the full amount. You do, Grandma Helena says quickly. I replaced it with my own money when I discovered the theft. But that's not the point. The point is that Catherine stole from her own daughters, lied about it, and then tried to destroy Riley's reputation to cover her own crimes. The word hangs in the air like smoke. Crimes. My mother finally finds her voice. It's not theft when it's family money. It's exactly theft. My father roars. He never raises his voice. In 30 years of marriage, I've maybe heard him yell twice. You stole from our daughters, Catherine. From your own mother. You lied to me about our finances. You spent $35,000. We don't have to hire investigators to attack Riley. I was trying to protect this family. My mother's voice cracks. Riley disappeared for 6 years. 6 years of not knowing if she was okay, if she was safe, if she was even alive. And then suddenly she's successful? How was I supposed to believe that? You could have called her, I say coldly. You could have reached out. Apologize for stealing my college fund. Apologize for calling me a failure. Apologize for comparing me to Olivia every single day of my life. I never compared you. You always compared me. I'm fully yelling now. Every single day. Why can't you be more like Olivia? Why can't you get straight A's like your sister? Why can't you be responsible like Olivia? The memories fled back, sharp and painful. Every parent-teacher conference where I was asked why I wasn't as good as my sister. Every family dinner where my accomplishments were dismissed, while Olivia's were celebrated. Every birthday where her gifts were thoughtful and expensive while mine were clearly afterthoughts. I remember being 16 and winning a regional coding competition. First place. $1,000 scholarship. I'd been so excited to tell my parents. My mother had said, "That's nice, honey," and then spent the next hour talking about Olivia's acceptance to her first-choice college. I remember being 22 and landing my first paid tech consulting job. $15,000 for a 3-month contract. Huge money for a college student. My father had said, "Just don't spend it all in one place," like I was a child who couldn't manage money. Meanwhile, they just bought Olivia a new car as a graduation present. Every achievement dismissed. Every success minimized. Every dream mocked. And now I'm standing here, in a room full of people, finding out that my mother didn't just emotionally sabotage me. She financially destroyed me too. The investigators did exactly what your mother asked, Grandma Helena says, pulling my attention back to the present. They investigated thoroughly. They found every financial record, every transaction, every lie. She pulls out a stack of papers at least an inch thick. Bank statements showing the trust fund withdrawals. Email records of Catherine instructing her assistant to forge documents. Text messages discussing how to hide assets from the IRS. And she pulls out one final document. A pending investigation by the Colorado State Real Estate Commission for fraud, misrepresentation, and breach of fiduciary duty. My mother has gone beyond pale. She's practically translucent. The commission received an anonymous tip 3 weeks ago, Grandma Helena continues, complete with documentation of every illegal practice Monroe Real Estate has engaged in over the past 5 years. False appraisals, undisclosed conflicts of interest, kickback schemes with mortgage brokers. She looks at my mother with something that might be pity. The investigators found everything, Catherine, and they're legally obligated to report criminal activity. Oh no. You mean? I can barely process what I'm hearing. You mean the investigators reported Mom to the authorities? They reported her to the Real Estate Commission, the IRS, and the District Attorney's Office. Grandma Helena's voice is gentle but firm. When you hire investigators, you can't control what they find. And when they find crimes, they have to report them. My father sits down heavily in the nearest chair. His face has gone gray. How bad is it? Grandma Helena looks at him with genuine sympathy. The DA is considering charges of fraud, embezzlement, and tax evasion. The Real Estate Commission will almost certainly revoke her license. The IRS penalties alone could be $200,000. $200,000. Money they definitely don't have. The investigators my mother hired to destroy me accidentally destroyed her instead. The irony is so perfect it's almost poetic. Someone should call them, a voice says from the back of the room. I turn and there's a man I don't recognize. Older, maybe 60, with graying hair and a serious expression. The lead investigator is here. I think he has more to share. The crowd parts like the Red Sea, and a man in his 50s walks forward. He's wearing a badge clipped to his belt, and he's carrying a briefcase that looks like it weighs a ton, Mrs. Monroe. His voice is professional, detached. I'm Detective Chun from the Willow Creek Police Department. I need to speak with you about some financial irregularities that have been brought to our attention. My mother's face crumbles. Not here. Please, not in front of everyone. Ma'am, we can do this here or at the station. Your choice. The party guests are recording now. Phones out, cameras rolling. This is going to be viral by midnight. Grandma Helena stands up slowly. Riley, could you help me to my room? I think I need to lie down. It's a graceful exit, and I'm grateful for it. I don't want to watch my mother get arrested at her mother-in-law's birthday party, no matter how much she deserves it. As we walk toward the door, I hear my mother's voice, desperate and broken. Riley, please. Tell them you forgive me. Tell them it was a misunderstanding. I stop. Turn around. Look at the woman who gave birth to me but never really saw me. You hired investigators to prove I was a liar. I say quietly. They proved you were the liar instead. That's not a misunderstanding, Mother. That's justice. And then I walk out, leaving behind the family that never believed in me, and the drama they created themselves. Grandma Helena's hotel suite is on the top floor, and it's beautiful. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, elegant furniture, fresh flowers on every surface. She sits down on the couch with a heavy sigh. I'm sorry you had to learn about it that way. Don't apologize. I sink into the chair across from her. You didn't do anything wrong. She did. I wanted to tell you sooner. Grandma Helena's hand shakes slightly as she pours herself water. When the investigators brought me their preliminary findings 2 months ago, I wanted to call you immediately, but I didn't have your number. Catherine had made sure no one in the family could contact you. That doesn't surprise me. Control was always my mother's specialty. How did you find me? I ask. To invite me tonight? She smiles softly. I hired my own investigator. A different one. I told him I just wanted to know if you were safe and how to reach you. Nothing invasive, nothing intrusive. Just, where is my granddaughter and is she okay? My throat tightens with emotion. And what did he find? He found Monroe Security Solutions, a thriving cybersecurity consulting firm with 32 employees and 7-figure annual revenue. He found your name on Forbes 30 Under 30 list. He found articles about your company protecting small businesses from ransomware attacks. He found success, Riley. The kind of real meaningful success that your mother could never understand. The validation hits differently coming from her. Not because I need it, I know my worth now, but because it's nice to hear from someone who matters. I tried to tell Catherine, Grandma Helena continues. I showed her the articles, the business reports, everything. I thought maybe if she saw proof of your success, she'd be proud. She'd reach out. She'd apologize. But she didn't. She said it had to be fake. That you probably paid for fake articles and set up a fake company to make yourself look successful. Grandma Helena's voice breaks slightly. She was so convinced you were lying that she spent $35,000 trying to prove it. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. She was so desperate for me to fail that she couldn't accept I'd succeeded. Some parents do that. Grandma Helena's eyes are sad. They build their identity around their children's failures because it makes them feel superior. Your mother needed you to be the problem, so she could avoid looking at her own problems. That hits close to home. Too close. My phone buzzes. It's Marcus again. Riley, I'm seeing some wild stuff on social media right now. You okay? I text back. Long story. Call you tomorrow. The news is already spreading, I tell Grandma Helena. By morning, everyone in Willow Creek will know. Let them know. Her voice is firm. Catherine built her reputation on lies. Let the truth tear it down. There's a knock on the door. I tense, expecting my mother, but it's Olivia who walks in. My sister looks like she's aged 10 years in the past hour. Her perfect makeup is smudged from crying, and her hands are shaking. Can I talk to Riley? She asks Grandma Helena. Alone. My grandmother looks at me questioningly. I nod. It's okay. She leaves, and suddenly it's just me and my sister in this beautiful hotel suite, with 6 years of unspoken words between us. Olivia sits down on the couch, and for a long moment neither of us speaks. She took my wedding fund, Olivia finally says. Her voice is small, broken. $40,000. I've been planning this wedding for 2 years and she just took it. I know. Did you know she took your college fund too? I do now. I lean back in my chair. 6 years later, but yeah. Now I know. Olivia looks at me, really looks at me for maybe the first time in our lives. How did you do it? How did you walk away and build something amazing? How did you survive? The question catches me off guard. Because that's not the Olivia I remember. The Olivia I remember would never admit I built something amazing. You really want to know? She nods. I stopped waiting for permission, I say carefully. I stopped waiting for Mom and Dad to believe in me. I stopped trying to prove I was as good as you. I just did the work. Every day. Even when I was exhausted. Even when I wanted to quit. I kept going because I had no other choice. Tears stream down Olivia's face. I'm sorry. I blink. What? I'm sorry for everything. For the comparisons, for the competitions, for being Mom's weapon against you. She wipes her eyes, smearing mascara across her cheeks. I knew she was treating you differently. I knew she was cruel to you. And I let it happen because it made my life easier. This is not what I expected. Olivia. No, let me finish. She takes a shaky breath. I was the golden child and you were the scapegoat. I got all the praise, all the support, all the resources. And you got criticism and mockery and nothing. I told myself it wasn't my fault, that I wasn't responsible for how Mom treated you. But I was complicit. I participated. I helped her tear you down because it elevated me. The honesty is shocking. Raw. Real. Every time she compared you to me, I should have defended you. Olivia continues. Every time she mocked your dreams, I should have stood up for you. Every time Dad dismissed your achievements, I should have pointed out how brilliant you actually are. But I didn't. Because I liked being the favorite. I don't know what to say. Part of me wants to tell her it's okay, that I forgive her. But the wound is too deep, too fresh. Why are you telling me this now? I ask. Because I just found out my mother is a criminal and my sister is a CEO. And it turns out everything I thought I knew about our family was a lie. Olivia laughs bitterly. I've spent my whole life trying to be perfect for them. Perfect grades, perfect job, perfect fiancé, perfect wedding. And for what? So Mom could steal my wedding fund and lie about it. I'm sorry about the money, I say, and I mean it. Grandma said she replaced it? She did. But that's not the point. Olivia stands up and starts pacing. The point is that I wasted 30 years trying to earn love from someone who's incapable of giving it honestly. Someone who would rather destroy her own daughter than admit she was wrong about her. Welcome to my world, I think, but don't say. Riley, can I ask you something? Do you hate me? The question hangs in the air. Do I hate her? My sister, who had everything I didn't. Who was praised while I was criticized. Who watched me suffer and did nothing. No, I say finally. I don't hate you. But I don't trust you either. She nods like she expected that answer. Can I earn your trust back? I don't know. Maybe. That's not something that happens overnight. I know. She sits back down. I'm not asking for instant forgiveness or a perfect sisterly relationship. I'm just asking for a chance. To be better. To do better. Before I can respond, there's another knock on the door. This time it's my father. Robert Monroe looks like he's been through a war. His tie is loose, his shirt is untucked, and his eyes are red-rimmed. Riley. His voice cracks. Can we talk? I glance at Olivia. She stands up. I'll give you privacy. She leaves and it's just me and Dad. The last time we had a real conversation was 6 years ago, right before I walked out. He told me I was making a huge mistake. That I'd regret leaving the family. That I'd come crawling back within a year. Well, it's been 6 years and I never crawled back. I didn't know, he says without preamble. About the college fund, the trust fund withdrawals, any of it. Catherine handled all our finances. I thought we were fine. I thought the business was doing well. I had no idea she was stealing from you. Does that make it better? I ask. That you were ignorant instead of complicit? He flinches. No, doesn't. Because even if I didn't know about the financial stuff, I knew how she treated you. How we both treated you. Finally, some accountability. You mocked my dreams. I say, keeping my voice level. When I told you about my business idea, you laughed in my face. You said I'd fail. You said I was wasting my time. I know. You compared me to Olivia constantly. Why can't you be more like your sister? Every report card, every achievement, every milestone, it was never good enough. I was never good enough. I know. You didn't defend me when Mom was cruel. You just sat there and let it happen. You watched her tear me down and you did nothing. I know. He shouts, then immediately looks horrified at himself. I know, Riley. I know I failed you. I know I was a terrible father. And I know saying sorry doesn't fix anything. We sit in silence for a moment. The police are taking your mother to the station, he says quietly. She'll probably be charged tomorrow. The lawyer says she's looking at potential jail time if they can prove intent to defraud. I should feel satisfaction. Victory. Justice served. But instead I just feel tired. What are you going to do? I ask. I don't know. He runs his hands through his hair. Divorce her probably. Try to salvage what's left of the business. Figure out how to rebuild a life from scratch at 58 years old. Sounds familiar, I mutter. He looks at me sharply. Is that what you did? Rebuilt from scratch? Yeah. At 24 with no money, no support, and a family that wanted me to fail. But I did it anyway. Dad's eyes fill with tears. I'm proud of you. The words I spent my whole childhood desperate to hear. The validation I nearly destroyed myself trying to earn. And now that they're finally here, they feel hollow. Empty. Too little, too late. Where were you 6 years ago when I needed to hear that? I ask softly. Where were you when I was working 3 jobs to finish college because Mom stole my education fund? Where were you when I was building my business from nothing, eating 1 meal a day to save money? Where was your pride then? He has no answer. What answer could he possibly give? I'm not saying this to hurt you, I continue. I'm saying it because you need to understand. You don't get to be proud of me now. You don't get to claim any part of my success. Because you did nothing to help me achieve it. You did everything to prevent it. I know, he whispers. I built Monroe Security Solutions alone. I succeeded alone. I survived alone. And I'll continue without you if I have to. Is that what you want? He looks at me with genuine fear. To cut us out completely? I think about that. Really think about it. 6 years ago I cut them out because I had to. Because their toxicity was suffocating me. because staying in contact meant accepting abuse as love. But now? Now I'm strong enough to have boundaries. Strong enough to engage on my own terms. I don't know what I want, I admit. But I know what I don't want. I don't try continuant fake apologies. I don't want performative guilt. I don't want you in my life unless you're genuinely willing to change and respect my boundaries. Dad nods slowly. What would that look like? Respecting your boundaries. It means no more comparisons. No more dismissing my achievements. No more financial manipulation. I count on my fingers. It means accepting that I built my life without you and that's okay. It means understanding that I don't owe you access to my success. And most importantly, it means proving through actions, not words, that you've actually changed. How long will that take? As long as it takes. I stand up. I spent 24 years trying to earn your approval. You can spend however long it takes to earn my trust. He stands too, and for a moment I think he might try to hug me. But he doesn't. He just nods, respecting the boundary I've set. Can I ask one thing? His voice is barely above a whisper. What? Tell me about your company. About what you built. Not because I want to take credit for it, but because I genuinely want to know what my daughter accomplished. It's such a simple request, but it hits me hard. Because in all the years of my success, no one in my family ever asked about my work. Not once. So I tell him. I tell him about Monroe Security Solutions. About how I started with one client. A small bakery that had been hacked and lost their customer database. How I spent 3 weeks rebuilding their systems for free, just to build my portfolio. How that one happy client referred me to 3 others. How those 3 became 10, then 50, then 100. I tell him about the first time I made $10,000 in a month and cried because I could finally afford health insurance. About hiring my first employee, Marcus, who believed in my vision when no one else did. About landing our first major corporate client and realizing that maybe, just maybe, I'd actually made it. I tell him about the ransomware attack we stopped last year that would have shut down a children's hospital. About the small business owner who hugged me and cried because we saved 10 years of her life's work. About the Forbes recognition and the speaking engagements and the respect I've earned in an industry that doesn't easily give respect. And Dad listens. Really listens. His eyes shine with tears, and when I finish he says something unexpected. You got your determination from your mother, you know, and your analytical mind from me. We gave you the tools, even if we didn't support how you used them. It's such a dad thing to say. Still trying to claim some credit. But there's a kernel of truth in it too. Maybe I concede. But I chose what to build with those tools. That part is all mine. Yes, he agrees. Yes, it is. 3 hours later, I'm back in the ballroom. The party has devolved into clusters of gossiping relatives, and the energy is electric with scandal. Grandma Helena is back at her table, looking remarkably composed for someone whose birthday party just imploded. She waves me over. How are you holding up? She asks. Honestly, I'm not sure. I sit beside her. This is surreal. Justice often is. She pats my hand. Your mother made her choices. Now she faces the consequences. Uncle Thomas approaches our table, my father's younger brother. I haven't seen him in years, but he looks exactly the same, silver hair, expensive suit, that perpetually judgmental expression. Riley. He says my name like it tastes bad. I hope you're satisfied. Here we go. Satisfied with what exactly? I keep my voice neutral. With destroying your mother. With humiliating this entire family in front of everyone. His face is red with indignation. Whatever issues you had with Catherine, this is vindictive and cruel. Grandma Helena starts to speak, but I hold up my hand. I need to handle this myself. Uncle Thomas, let me make sure I understand. I lean back in my chair. My mother stole my college fund, $75,000. She stole money from Olivia's trust fund. She stole from Grandma's medical care fund. She committed real estate fraud and tax evasion. She hired investigators to destroy my reputation. And somehow, I'm the villain in this story. She's still your mother. Being my mother doesn't give her a pass for committing crimes. My voice is steel now. Being family doesn't mean I have to protect her from the consequences of her own actions. But to air this in public. I didn't air anything, I interrupt. She hired investigators who found the truth and were legally obligated to report it. She destroyed herself. I just showed up to Grandma's birthday party. Aunt Margaret, Thomas's wife, chimes in. But surely you could have handled this privately. Filed the reports without making a scene. I didn't file any reports. I'm losing patience now. The investigators filed reports. The police acted on those reports. I literally found out about all of this tonight, same as you. But you must have known something. Why? I challenge. Because I'm psychic? Because I magically knew my mother was committing fraud? I've had zero contact with this family for 6 years. How would I know anything? The crowd that's gathered to watch this confrontation shifts uncomfortably. Because they're realizing that their narrative, Riley the vengeful daughter destroying her mother, doesn't hold up under scrutiny. The real question, I continue, my voice carrying across the ballroom, is why are you more concerned with how this looks than with what actually happened? My mother stole from her own daughters, from her mother-in-law, from vulnerable clients who trusted her. And your concern is about appearances. Uncle Thomas opens his mouth, then closes it. He has no answer. Cousin Nina, who warned me earlier, speaks up from a nearby table. Riley's right. We're also worried about the family reputation, that we're ignoring the actual crimes. That's messed up. Thank you, Nina. I say genuinely. More relatives start murmuring agreement. The tide is shifting. They're starting to see what I saw years ago, that this family's obsession with appearances enabled terrible behavior. My phone buzzes with a text from Marcus. Just saw the news. Your mom was arrested. You doing okay? News. It's already on the news. I pull up a local news website and sure enough there's a headline. Prominent real estate broker arrested on fraud charges at family party. The article is brief but damning. Catherine Monroe, owner of Monroe Real Estate, arrested at her mother-in-law's 80th birthday party, following an investigation into embezzlement and fraud. The investigation was allegedly initiated by private investigators hired by Mrs. Monroe herself to investigate her estranged daughter. The irony isn't lost on the journalist. The article's tone practically drips with, "You can't make this stuff up." Within minutes, my phone starts buzzing with calls and texts from people I haven't heard from in years. Old college friends, former coworkers, business contacts. Is this your mom? Oh my God, Riley, are you okay? Just saw the news. Wow. I silence my phone and look up to find Olivia standing a few feet away. She's changed clothes, traded the fancy party dress for jeans and a sweater. She looks younger, more vulnerable without all the designer armor. I'm leaving, she announces to the room. I can't stay here with everyone staring and whispering. I'll go with you, her fiancé says immediately, appearing at her side. Brad, I think his name is. I've never actually met him. Can I talk to you first? Olivia asks me. Outside. We step onto the hotel's terrace. The night air is cold, and the city lights spread out below us like scattered diamonds. I broke up with Brad, Olivia says without preamble. What? Just now. 10 minutes ago. She laughs, but it sounds broken. Want to know why? Okay. Because when the police arrested Mom, his first concern was how this would affect his law firm's reputation. Not how I was feeling. Not whether I was okay. Just how it would look to his partners that his fiancé's mother is a criminal. I wince. I'm sorry. Don't be. You did me a favor. She leans against the railing. I've spent my whole life choosing relationships based on what would make Mom and Dad proud. Brad was perfect on paper, Harvard Law, comes from money, politically connected family. But he's also kind of an asshole. This might be the most honest conversation I've ever had with my sister. The guy I actually liked was a high school music teacher. Olivia continues. His name was James. He made me laugh. He saw me, not just the Golden Child performance. But Mom said dating a teacher was beneath me. So I broke up with him and started dating men she approved of. That's awful. It's pathetic, Olivia corrects. I'm 32 years old, and I'm still making life choices based on what my mother thinks. Except my mother is apparently a criminal, so maybe her judgment isn't worth much. We stand in silence for a moment. What are you going to do? I ask. Cancel the wedding, obviously. Move out of the house I bought to impress Mom. Quit the corporate law job I hate. She turns to look at me. Maybe try to figure out who I actually am underneath all the performance. That's brave. No, it's overdue. She pauses. Can I ask you something? Sure. When you walked away 6 years ago, were you scared? I think back to that night. 24 years old, broke, alone, burning every bridge with my family. Terrified. How did you do it? I realized that staying scared of their rejection was worse than actually being rejected. I was already living in fear, already trying to earn approval that would never come. Walking away was scary, but at least it was honest. Olivia nods slowly, processing this. You know what the craziest part is? She says. I was jealous of you. What? Why? Because you had the courage to leave. To choose yourself. I've always been too afraid. Tears stream down her face. I'm the golden child, right? I should be happy. I should be grateful. But I've been miserable for years, and I couldn't even admit it because that would mean Mom was wrong about what makes people successful. I reach out and squeeze her hand. It's a small gesture, but it's the first genuinely affectionate contact we've had in over a decade. It's not too late, I tell her, to choose yourself. Is it too late for us? Her voice breaks. To be sisters? The question pierces my heart. Because part of me wants to say yes, to punish her for all the years she stood by while I suffered. But another part, the part that built a life based on healing rather than revenge, knows that's not who I want to be. No, I say finally. It's not too late. But it can't be the old dynamic. I'm not the scapegoat anymore. You're not the golden child. We'd have to figure out how to be equals. I'd like that. She wipes her tears. I'd really like that. We hug then, a real hug, and it feels like something fundamental has shifted between us. When we go back inside, the party has officially ended. Catering staff are cleaning up. Most guests have left. Grandma Helena is still at her table, talking quietly with a few close friends. There you are, she says when she sees us. I was worried you'd both run off. Not running, Olivia says. Just processing. Good. Grandma Helena stands, and despite everything that's happened, she looks oddly energized. Because I have an announcement to make. She taps her water glass with a spoon, and the remaining people in the ballroom turn to listen. This has been quite an eventful 80th birthday party, she begins, and a few people laugh nervously. But I want to end the evening with something positive. She pulls out an envelope from her purse. I've been updating my will recently, and tonight's events have clarified some things for me. She looks directly at me. Riley, you walked away from this family with nothing and built something extraordinary. You did it with integrity, hard work, and tremendous courage. I want to support that. My heart starts racing. Where is this going? I'm establishing the Helena Grant Foundation for Women Entrepreneurs, she announces. $1 million in seed funding to help women start businesses in male-dominated industries. And Riley, I'd like you to run it. The room goes completely silent. Grandma, I'm speechless. That's incredibly generous, but I have my own company. Which is exactly why you're perfect for this, she interrupts. You understand what these women face. You've lived it. You can mentor them, guide them, help them avoid the mistakes you had to learn from. $1 million is a lot of money. I say carefully. It's my money, and I'll do what I want with it. Her voice is firm. Catherine stole from her own daughters to fund a lifestyle she couldn't afford. I'm going to use my money to empower women to build their own success. The symbolism isn't lost on anyone. It's a direct rebuke of everything my mother stood for. Can I think about it? I ask. Take all the time you need. Grandma Helena smiles. But I hope you'll say yes. This family needs something good to come from tonight's chaos. 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in a police station conference room, giving my official statement about the college fund theft. Detective Chun sits across from me, recorder running, taking notes. He's been incredibly patient, walking me through every detail. So to clarify, he says, you first learned about the missing funds when you were how old? 22. I was a junior in college. I take a sip of water. My mother called and said there was a banking issue, a legal freeze on the account. She said she was working with lawyers to resolve it. And you believed her? Why wouldn't I? She was my mother. The naivety of 22-year-old Riley hurts to remember. I trusted that she was handling it. When did you realize she'd lied? 3 weeks ago. At my grandmother's birthday party. I still can't believe that was only 3 weeks ago. Feels like a lifetime. Detective Chen nods, making notes. And you never authorized any withdrawals from that account? No. I didn't even have access. My grandfather set it up as a restricted trust. Only my parents could access it until I graduated. Which is how your mother was able to steal it, he says bluntly. The word still stings. Steal. My own mother stole from me. The DA is building a strong case. Detective Chun continues. The evidence from the private investigators, combined with your grandmother's audit and your testimony, makes this fairly straightforward. Your mother is likely looking at 18 to 36 months in prison, depending on plea negotiations. Prison. My mother is going to prison. I should feel vindicated. Instead, I feel empty. How are you doing with all this? Detective Chen asks, his voice gentler now. I know this can't be easy. Honestly, I'm not sure. I lean back in my chair. Part of me feels like justice is being served. Part of me feels guilty for feeling that way. And part of me just feels sad that it came to this. That's normal, he says. You can be glad someone is facing consequences, while still grieving the relationship you wish you'd had. He's right. I'm grieving the mother I should have had. The one who supported my dreams, celebrated my successes, loved me unconditionally. She never existed, but I'm mourning her anyway. After the interview, I drive to my office. Monroe Security Solutions has grown significantly in 3 weeks. The media attention from my mother's arrest, combined with articles about my success story, has brought in 17 new client inquiries. Marcus meets me at the door with a grin. Guess what? We landed the hospital contract? Better. We landed 3 hospital contracts. Denver General, Mercy Medical, and Lakewood Regional. His excitement is contagious. That's a combined contract value of $2.3 million annually. I nearly dropped my coffee. Are you serious? Dead serious. Apparently, they were impressed by your Forbes interview last week. The one where you talked about the importance of protecting vulnerable systems. The Forbes interview. Another surreal moment in this surreal month. The journalist had wanted to talk about my mother's arrest, but I'd redirect it to my company's mission instead. Monroe Security Solutions exists because I understand what it's like when systems fail you, I'd said. I'm committed to making sure critical systems don't fail the people who depend on them. It had been good PR, but it was also true. This means we need to hire, Marcus says, pulling up spreadsheets on his tablet. At least 6 more engineers, 2 project managers, and another admin person. Can we afford that? With these contracts? Absolutely. He grins. Boss, we're officially a major player. Not just a successful startup. A legitimate, established security firm. The weight of that hits me. 6 years ago, I was eating ramen and coding in my apartment. Now I'm running a company that protects hospitals and employs nearly 40 people. We should celebrate, Marcus suggests. Later. Right now, I have another meeting. The Grant Digital Safety Initiative, Grandma Helena's foundation, requires a response. I've been putting off my decision for 3 weeks, but I can't delay anymore. I drive to Sunset Manor, the assisted living facility where Grandma Helena moved last year. It's a beautiful place. More like a luxury apartment complex than a nursing home. She's waiting for me in her suite, tea already poured. You've made your decision, she says before I even sit down. Not a question. A statement. How did you know? You have that look. The one you get when you've thoroughly analyzed something and reached a conclusion. She smiles. I saw the same look when you were 14 and had to choose between advanced math and creative writing. You remember that? I remember everything about you, dear. Someone had to pay attention. She says it matter-of-factly, but it carries weight. While my parents overlooked me, Grandma Helena was watching. I sit down and accept the tea she offers. I'll do it. I'll run the foundation. Her face lights up. Truly. On certain conditions. I pull out a folder with my proposal. I want to structure it as a separate nonprofit, completely independent from my company. Clear boundaries. I'll dedicate 15 hours a week to it initially, increasing as we grow. And I want full autonomy in selecting recipients and designing programs. Done. She doesn't even look at the folder. Don't you want to review my proposal? Riley, I'm giving you $1 million because I trust your judgment. If I didn't trust you, I wouldn't have offered. She takes a sip of tea. Besides, I know you. You've probably spent 3 weeks researching best practices, analyzing similar foundations, and creating a detailed strategic plan. She's not wrong. The folder contains 47 pages of research. I want to do this right, I say. These women will be vulnerable. Starting businesses is terrifying. And in industries that don't always welcome them, it's even harder. I don't want to waste your money or their time. Which is exactly why you're the right person for this. Grandma Helena reaches across and squeezes my hand. Your mother squandered opportunities and stole from people who trusted her. You're going to do the opposite, create opportunities and build trust. That's the legacy I want for our family. The family. It's such a loaded word now. Speaking of family, I say carefully, have you heard from Mom? Grandma Helena's expression darkens. She calls twice a week from jail. Crying, apologizing, begging me to post bail. Are you going to? Absolutely not. Her voice is firm. Catherine made her choices. She needs to face the consequences. Bail is set at $200,000. Money I could provide but won't. That money is better spent empowering women like you than enabling her. Dad called me yesterday, I admit. He's filing for divorce. Good. Robert is finally showing some sense. She shakes her head. He's been blind to Catherine's manipulation for 30 years. Maybe this will wake him up. He wants to have dinner. To talk. Do you want to? I consider this. Maybe. Eventually. But not yet. I'm still processing everything. Take your time, Grandma Helena advises. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel ready to rebuild relationships. Other days you'll need distance. Both are valid. We spend the next hour discussing foundation logistics, programs we could offer, application processes, success metrics. It feels good to channel all this chaos into something productive. As I'm leaving, Grandma Helena stops me at the door. Riley, can I tell you something? Of course. Watching you walk away 6 years ago was one of the hardest things I've ever experienced. I wanted to run after you, beg you to stay, promise that things would get better. Her eyes shimmer with tears. But I knew you needed to leave. You needed to discover your own strength. Grandma, let me finish. She takes a breath. I'm proud of you. Not because you're successful, though that's wonderful. I'm proud because you chose yourself. Because you had the courage to walk away from toxicity and build something better. That's the truest kind of strength. The words I've needed my whole life, finally spoken by someone who means them. Thank you, I whisper. No, thank you. For surviving. For thriving. For showing other women what's possible. I drive home with tears streaming down my face. Not sad tears. Release tears. Healing tears. My phone rings. It's Olivia. Hey, she says. Are you busy? Just leaving Grandma's. What's up? I did something impulsive, and I need to tell someone before I chicken out and undo it. Okay. I quit my job. Like actually quit. Walked into my boss's office an hour ago and resigned. Olivia. That's huge. I know. She sounds terrified and excited. I don't have another job lined up. I don't have a plan. I just knew I couldn't keep working somewhere that made me miserable. This is the sister I've been waiting to meet. The real one underneath all the performance. What do you want to do? I ask. I don't know. That's the scary part. I've spent my whole life doing what other people expected. I have no idea what I actually want. Then maybe now is the time to figure it out, I suggest. You have savings, right? Yeah. Enough for about 6 months. So take 6 months. Try different things. Explore. See what makes you happy. That's terrifying. It is, I agree. But it's also freedom. She laughs, shaky but genuine. When did my little sister become so wise? When I had no choice but to figure it out. We talk for another 20 minutes. She tells me about confronting Mom in jail last week. About the non-apologies and guilt trips. About finally setting boundaries. She said I was ungrateful, Olivia recounts. That she sacrificed everything for us, and we're abandoning her. Classic manipulation. I know, but hearing it still hurt. She pauses. Did it hurt when she said stuff like that to you? Every single time. How did you handle it? Therapy, I say honestly. So much therapy. And time. And building a life that proved her wrong. I started therapy last week, Olivia admits. The therapist says I have golden child syndrome. Apparently that's a real thing. It is. Just like being the scapegoat is a real thing. Different roles, same toxic family system. We were both victims, Olivia says quietly. Just in different ways. It's a profound realization, and it shifts something in how I see our relationship. We weren't enemies. We were two kids trying to survive the same dysfunction, just using different strategies. Hey, I say impulsively. Want to have dinner tomorrow? Like actual sister dinner? Not family obligation dinner. Really? Really? We can go somewhere nice. Talk. Figure out how to be sisters instead of competitors. I'd love that. Her voice breaks with emotion. Riley, I'm really trying. To be better. To be the sister you deserved. I know. I see it. After we hang up, I realize something important. I spent 6 years believing I needed to cut out my entire family to heal. But maybe it's more nuanced than that. Maybe some relationships are toxic and need to end. And maybe some relationships are worth saving if both people are willing to do the work. Mom, toxic. No contact is best. Dad, complicated. Maybe occasional contact with firm boundaries. Olivia, worth rebuilding if she keeps showing up. Grandma Helena, always my champion. Always safe. Family isn't black and white. It's 1,000 shades of gray. Constantly shifting based on growth and effort. The conference room at Monroe Security Solutions is packed with women entrepreneurs. 15 of them, ranging from 25 to 60 years old, representing businesses from robotics to construction to cryptocurrency. They're here for the first cohort of the Helena Grant Foundation Fellowship. I stand at the front of the room, nervous in a way I rarely am anymore. Welcome, I begin. 6 months ago, I didn't know this foundation would exist. 6 months ago, I was just trying to survive a family crisis that became national news. Some of them nod. They've all researched me. They know the story. But here's what I learned from that crisis. The system that tried to break me actually exposed itself. The person who tried to destroy me accidentally destroyed herself. And sometimes the best revenge is building something so good that it helps other people avoid your pain. I click to the next slide, the Foundation's mission statement. This fellowship exists because women in male-dominated industries face unique challenges. We're doubted more. We're funded less. We're expected to work twice as hard for half the recognition. I look around the room. Every woman here has probably been told she's not good enough, smart enough, or tough enough. I'm here to tell you that's a lie. A woman in the back raises her hand. Sarah Chan, 43, trying to start a construction company. What if they're right? She asks quietly. What if we're not good enough? It's the question I ask myself 1,000 times. Then you get better, I say simply. But not good enough yet is very different from not good enough ever. One is about growth. The other is about gatekeeping. I share my own story. Not the dramatic parts that made headlines, but the mundane struggles. The client who paid me half what he'd pay a man for the same work. The investor who asked if I had a boyfriend to help with the technical stuff. The networking event where I was mistaken for someone's assistant instead of a CEO. Every single one of those moments made me want to quit. I admit. But I learned something important. Their doubt says nothing about my ability. It reveals their inability to recognize talent. Marcus joins me at the front of the room. Over 6 months he's become my co-director for the foundation. We're going to spend today covering practical skills, he says. Financial management, marketing, legal structure, scaling strategies. But more importantly, we're building a community. You're not alone in this anymore. The energy in the room shifts. These women came here isolated, struggling individually. Now they're part of something bigger. We break into small groups. I float between them, answering questions, sharing resources, connecting people with complementary skills. One woman, Jessica Lopez, pulls me aside during a break. She's 28, building an AI startup. Can I ask you something personal? She says nervously. Sure. Do you ever regret cutting off your family? Do you ever wish you tried harder to make it work? It's a question I've been asked a lot in interviews. But this isn't an interview. This is a woman genuinely seeking guidance. Sometimes, I answer honestly. Not because I made the wrong choice, but because I grieve the family I wish I'd had. But no, I don't regret protecting myself from abuse. That wasn't giving up. That was survival. My dad says I'm wasting my time with this startup, Jessica admits. He wants me to go to medical school. Says AI is a fad and I'll fail. What do you want? I want to build AI that helps doctors diagnose rare diseases. I want to save lives through technology. Her eyes light up. But he says I'm not smart enough for that. Then prove him wrong, I say firmly. Not because you need his approval, but because you deserve to chase your dreams. Whether he recognizes your intelligence or not, it exists. She nods, tears in her eyes. The day flies by. By evening, these 15 strangers have become a cohort, sharing contact information, making plans to meet up, supporting each other. This is what the foundation is meant to be. Not just money but community. As everyone leaves, Grandma Helena arrives for dinner. She's been doing much better lately. More energized, more engaged with life. How did it go? She asks. Perfectly. These women are incredible. Of course they are. You selected them. She settles into a chair in my office. Speaking of selection, have you thought about expanding the foundation? Starting a second cohort? Already planning it. Applications open next month. She beams with pride. You know, when I first proposed this idea, I wondered if it would make a difference. Now I see that it already has. The program just started. I protest. I'm not talking about the program. I'm talking about you. She gestures around my office. 6 months ago, you were still carrying so much pain from your mother's betrayal. Now look at you. Thriving. Building. Creating opportunities for other women. She's right. 6 months has changed everything. My mother pled guilty to embezzlement and fraud. She's serving 22 months in federal prison. I haven't visited. Haven't called. Haven't sent a single letter. Some people think that makes me heartless. But my therapist says it makes me healthy. Setting boundaries isn't cruel. It's self-preservation. Dad sold the house and moved into a modest condo. He's working for another real estate firm, rebuilding his reputation one honest transaction at a time. We have dinner once a month now. It's awkward, stilted, but it's something. He's trying to make amends and I'm trying to let him. But trust is earned slowly, and he has decades of damage to undo. Olivia has flourished in unexpected ways. She spent 3 months backpacking through Europe, something she'd always wanted to do but never allowed herself. When she came back, she started a career coaching business helping people leave toxic work environments. She's good at it. Really good. Because she understands what it's like to live a life designed by other people's expectations. We're still rebuilding our relationship, but it's genuine now. Real. We meet for coffee every week and sometimes we talk about mom and sometimes we don't. We're learning to be sisters without the weight of family dysfunction crushing us. Have you thought about what's next? Grandma Helena asks, pulling me back to the present. What do you mean? You've built a successful company. You've started a foundation. You've healed from your family trauma. She smiles. What's the next chapter of Riley Monroe's story? I think about that. For so long my story was about survival, about proving people wrong, about transforming pain into purpose. But what comes after that? I don't know, I admit. Maybe that's okay. Maybe not every chapter needs to be about overcoming something. Maybe some chapters can just be about living. Living well is the best revenge, Grandma Helena quotes. I don't want revenge anymore. I realize as I say it, I just want peace. My phone buzzes with a text. It's from David, the guy I met at a tech conference 3 months ago. We've been dating casually and it's been refreshingly drama-free. Dinner Friday? There's a new sushi place I want to try. I text back. It's a date. Grandma Helena catches my smile. Who's that? No one. Just a friend. A friend who makes you smile like that? She raises an eyebrow. Tell me about this friend. So I do. I tell her about David, software engineer, kind, funny, emotionally available. Someone who sees me as Riley, not as A.L. Grant the CEO or Riley Monroe the woman from the news. He sounds lovely, Grandma Helena says. Does he know about your family situation? I told him on our second date. Figured if he was going to run away, better to find out early. And he said, wow, that's intense. Want to talk about it? Or would you rather just enjoy dinner? I smile at the memory. I chose dinner. Smart man. We talk for another hour about everything and nothing. Foundation plans. Her book club drama. My company's expansion plans. Normal stuff. Family stuff, but the good kind. As she's leaving, she hugs me tightly. I'm proud of you, sweetheart. Not because of what you've built, but because of who you've become. Who have I become? Someone who knows her worth. Someone who sets boundaries. Someone who transforms pain into purpose. She pulls back to look at me. You became the person you needed when you were younger. That's the most powerful kind of success. After she leaves, I sit in my office and look out at the city lights. Denver at night continues beautiful, thousands of lights representing thousands of lives, all interconnected in ways we rarely stop to appreciate. My phone rings. Unknown number. I almost ignore it, but something makes me answer. Hello. Riley. A familiar voice, but one I haven't heard in months. It's Mom. My entire body tenses. Catherine Monroe, calling from prison. How did you get this number? Your father gave it to me. Please don't hang up. I need to talk to you. Every instinct screams at me to end the call. But curiosity, or maybe some deep unhealed part of me, keeps me on the line. What do you want? I want to apologize. Her voice cracks. For everything. For stealing your college fund. For dismissing your dreams. For trying to destroy you. Riley, I was so wrong about everything. The apology I spent decades wanting. And now that it's here, it feels empty. Are you apologizing because you're genuinely sorry? Or because you're in prison and want me to feel bad for you? Silence on the other end. That's what I thought. I say quietly. No, wait. She's crying now. I am sorry. Prison has given me a lot of time to think about what I did. About who I was. I destroyed everything, Riley. My marriage, my business, my reputation. My relationship with both my daughters. And for what? You tell me. Why did you do it? Because I was jealous. The words come out in a rush. You were so smart, so talented, so determined. You were everything I pretended to be. And instead of celebrating that, I tried to tear you down because your success highlighted my failures. It's the most honest thing she's ever said to me. I needed you to fail, she continues. Because if you succeeded without my help, without following my advice, it meant I was wrong. About everything. And I couldn't handle being wrong. So you stole from me. Lied about me. Hired investigators to destroy me. Yes. She's sobbing now. And I destroyed myself instead. The investigators found all my crimes, and now I'm paying for them. But Riley, the worst punishment isn't prison. It's knowing that I had two incredible daughters, and I ruined my relationship with both of them because I was too proud and too insecure to just be happy for your success. Part of me wants to comfort her. The daughter in me that still remembers being small and wanting her mother's love. But the woman I've become knows better. Mom, I don't forgive you. She gasps like I physically struck her. Maybe someday I will, I continue. But not today. Not because you called from prison and cried. Forgiveness isn't something you earn with one conversation. It's something that comes with time and genuine change. But I have changed. You've been in prison for 6 months. That's not change. That's consequences. My voice is firm but not cruel. Change is what happens after prison. Change is making amends, not just saying sorry. Change is respecting my boundaries even when it hurts. What are your boundaries? She asks quietly. No contact for now. Maybe in a year we can talk again. Maybe not. But right now I need space to continue healing from everything you did. A year. She sounds devastated. Mom, you stole from me and tried to destroy my reputation. A year of no contact is actually incredibly generous. More silence. Then in a small voice, okay, if that's what you need. It is. Can I ask one thing before you go? What? Are you happy? Did you build a good life? The question catches me off guard. Because underneath the manipulation and toxicity, maybe there's still a mother who genuinely wants to know if her daughter is okay. Yes, I say honestly. I'm happy. I built something real. Something good. Something that helps people. I'm glad. She sounds like she means it. I'm sorry I wasn't there to see it. I'm sorry I tried to prevent it. I'm sorry for everything. I know. But sorry doesn't undo the damage. It just acknowledges it. Will you really talk to me in a year? If you've done the work, real therapy, real reflection, real amends, then maybe. Okay. A long pause. I love you, Riley. The words I wanted so desperately as a child. But love without respect is just manipulation with better packaging. Goodbye, Mom. I hang up before she can respond. My hands are shaking. My heart is racing. But underneath the anxiety there's something else. Something that feels like closure. I don't need her forgiveness or her love anymore. I don't need her to acknowledge my success or validate my choices. I'm whole without her. That realization is both liberating and sad. Marcus knocks on my office door. Hey, you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. My mom just called from prison. Oh shit. What did she want? To apologize. To tell me she's changed. I lean back in my chair. But mostly to ease her own guilt, I think. Did you forgive her? No. I told her we could maybe talk in a year if she does real work on herself. Marcus nods approvingly. Boundaries. I'm proud of you. It was hard, I admit. Part of me wanted to say yes, everything's fine, I forgive you. Just to make the discomfort go away. But you didn't. Because you've grown. He sits down across from me. 6 months ago, would you have been able to say no to her? I think about that. 6 months ago, I was still so raw from the betrayal. Still so angry. I probably would have either completely shut her down with cruelty or forgiven her just to avoid conflict. Now I can hold space for complexity. For the truth that she's my mother and she hurt me. And both things can be true simultaneously. No, I say finally. 6 months ago, I wasn't strong enough to set boundaries without anger. And now you are. That's growth, boss. 4 months after that phone call, I'm standing backstage at a tech conference in San Francisco. Jessica Lopez, the young woman from our first foundation cohort, is about to present her AI diagnostic tool to a room full of investors. She's terrified. I can see it in the way her hands shake as she clutches her presentation notes. You've got this, I tell her, adjusting her microphone. You've practiced 100 times. What if they don't believe me? What if they think I'm too young, too inexperienced? Her voice is barely a whisper. What if my dad was right? I recognize that fear. I've lived it. Jessica, look at me. I wait until her eyes meet mine. Your dad was wrong. Not because he's a bad person, but because he couldn't see what you're capable of. That's his limitation, not yours. But what if the investors agree with him? Then they're wrong too. And you'll find investors who aren't wrong. I squeeze her shoulder. But I don't think they will be. Your tech is brilliant. Your presentation is solid. And you've worked your ass off to get here. The stage manager gives us the 2-minute warning. Remember why you built this, I say. Not to prove anyone wrong, but to save lives. To help doctors diagnose diseases faster. That mission is bigger than anyone's doubt. She takes a deep breath and nods. Okay, I can do this. You absolutely can. I watch from the wings as Jessica walks onto that stage. For the first 30 seconds her voice wavers. But then she clicks to her first demo slide and something shifts. She stops performing confidence and starts embodying it. Because she's not talking about abstract concepts anymore. She's showing them real results. A case study where her AI detected a rare autoimmune disease that 3 doctors had missed. Another case where early detection saved a child's life. The room is completely silent, hanging on every word. When she finishes, the applause is thunderous. And during the Q&A, instead of dismissive questions, investors are asking about scalability, market size, and partnership opportunities. She's not just succeeding. She's dominating. Backstage afterward, she collapses into a chair. Adrenaline still pumping. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did that really just happen? It really did. I hand her a bottle of water. You were incredible. 3 investors already asked for follow-up meetings. 3. She looks at me with wonder. Riley, is this real? It's real. And you earned it. Marcus appears with his phone out. You're trending on tech Twitter. Someone recorded your presentation and it's going viral. 28-year-old builds AI that saves lives is getting retweeted by major tech journalists. Jessica starts crying. Happy tears, overwhelmed tears, relief tears. My dad called, she says through the tears. He watched the live stream. He said he was proud of me. The words she's been waiting for. Just like I waited for them. How does it feel? I ask. Honestly, feels good. But also, she pauses, searching for words. It doesn't change anything fundamental. I was worthy of pride before he said it. His approval doesn't make my work more valid. I smile because she's learned the lesson I had to learn the hard way. External validation is nice, but internal knowing is what matters. That's exactly right, I tell her. You built this with or without his approval. His pride is a bonus, not the foundation. Over the next week, Jessica closes a $3 million seed funding round. Her AI diagnostic tool will be piloted in 5 hospitals. Lives will genuinely be saved because she refused to give up on her dream. This is what the Helena Grant Foundation was meant to do. Not just give money, but empower women to become unstoppable. Back in Denver, our second cohort is in full swing. 25 women this time, representing even more diverse industries. The program has expanded. We now offer legal support, accounting services, and mentorship matching with established entrepreneurs. One evening, I'm working late at the foundation office when Olivia stops by. She's been volunteering with the program, using her career coaching skills to help participants navigate professional challenges. You have a minute? She asks. Always. What's up? She sits down and I can tell something's on her mind. I got a call from Mom today. My stomach tightens. And she wanted me to convince you to visit her in prison. Said it's been almost a year since you spoke, and she's ready to have that conversation you mentioned. I'd almost forgotten about that. The year deadline. The possibility of possibly talking to her again. What did you tell her? I told her I don't get involved in your relationship with her. That if she wants to talk to you, she needs to respect your boundaries and wait for you to be ready. Olivia meets my eyes. Was that okay? That was perfect. I'm genuinely impressed. A year ago, you would have tried to play mediator. A year ago, I hadn't learned about boundaries. She smiles wryly. My therapist has taught me a lot about not taking responsibility for other people's relationships. Good therapist. The best. Olivia pauses. For what it's worth, I don't think you should visit her until you're ready. And if you're never ready, that's okay too. You visit her though. Right. Once a month. Mostly because I need closure. Not because she deserves my time. She shrugs. She's still manipulative. Still making excuses. But occasionally she has moments of actual insight. Those moments give me hope that maybe someday she'll really change. Do you think she will? Honestly? I don't know. She's doing therapy in prison, says all the right things. But I won't know if it's real until she gets out, and has to apply those lessons in the real world. She's right. Anyone can say they've changed when they're locked up with limited choices. Real change is tested in freedom. She gets out in 6 months. Olivia continues. Early release for good behavior. 6 months. The thought makes my stomach churn. Are you going to let her back into your life? I ask. With massive boundaries, maybe. She'll never be the mom I wanted, but maybe she can be someone I occasionally have coffee with. Someone I can tolerate in small doses. Olivia looks at me seriously. But you don't have to do the same. Your relationship with her is separate from mine. This is exactly the kind of mature, boundaried conversation we couldn't have had a year ago. We've both grown so much. I need to think about it. I say finally. The year deadline was arbitrary anyway. I'll decide when I'm ready. Fair enough. Olivia stands to leave, then turns back. Hey Riley. Yeah. Thank you for giving me a second chance. I know I didn't deserve it, but I'm grateful you let me prove I could be better. You earned it, I say honestly. By showing up consistently, by doing the work, by respecting my boundaries. That's not a second chance. That's you choosing to become someone worthy of being in my life. She smiles, tears glistening in her eyes. I'm choosing you too, you know, as my sister, as someone I genuinely like and admire. After she leaves, I sit in my office and think about family, about how we're taught that blood makes people family, but really family is about choice, about showing up, about doing the work. Grandma Helena is family because she consistently chose me. Olivia is becoming family because she's doing the difficult work of change. Marcus is family because he believed in me when no one else did. The women in our foundation cohorts are becoming family because we're building something together. And Mom? Mom is blood. But blood isn't enough. 1 year after Grandma Helena's birthday party, we're back at the Crystal Garden Hotel. But this time it's different. This time, we're celebrating the Helena Grant Foundation's 1-year anniversary. 200 people fill the ballroom. Foundation graduates, mentors, donors, supporters. I stand at the podium, looking out at faces that have become familiar. Women who walked in scared and walked out powerful. Women who are building businesses, changing industries, saving lives. A year ago, I walked into this hotel as someone returning to a family that had rejected me. Tonight I'm standing here with a family I chose, and who chose me back. The room erupts in applause. The Helena Grant Foundation has supported 40 women across 2 cohorts. Those women have collectively raised $17 million in funding, created 183 jobs, and built businesses that are changing their industries. I click to a slide showing photos of smiling entrepreneurs. But the numbers don't tell the full story. I tell them about Jessica, whose AI now operates in 12 hospitals and has helped diagnose hundreds of rare diseases. About Samantha, who built a construction company that prioritizes hiring women and has already completed $5 million in contracts. About Maria, whose cybersecurity firm protects nonprofits from ransomware attacks. These women didn't need me to succeed, I say. They needed someone to believe in them while they learned to believe in themselves. They needed resources, community, and a reminder that doubt says more about doubters than about dreamers. Grandma Helena sits at the front table, beaming with pride. She's 81 now, a little frilier but still sharp as ever. This foundation exists because one woman decided to use her resources to empower others. I continue. Helena Grant, thank you for seeing what was possible and investing in it. The standing ovation lasts 2 full minutes. After my speech, I'm surrounded by women wanting to thank me, share their stories, ask for advice. It's overwhelming in the best possible way. Then I see her, standing at the back of the ballroom, looking small and uncertain. My mother, Catherine Monroe, recently released from prison, wearing clothes that don't quite fit right and an expression that might be genuine remorse. Our eyes meet across the crowded room. I excuse myself from the conversation I'm in and walk toward her slowly. My heart pounds, but I'm not sure if it's from fear, anger, or something else entirely. Hi, she says when I reach her. Her voice is different, quieter, less confident. Hi. I keep my tone neutral. I didn't know you'd be here. Your grandmother invited me. Said I should see what you've built. She looks around the ballroom. Riley, this is incredible. Thank you. Awkward silence stretches between us. Can we talk? She asks. Just for a few minutes. I know I don't deserve your time, but... Okay. I gesture toward the terrace. Outside. We step into the cool night air, and suddenly we're alone for the first time in over a year. I'm not going to ask for forgiveness, Mom says immediately. I don't deserve it. But I wanted you to know that I've spent the last year and a half working on myself. Real therapy. Real accountability. Real change. Actions speak louder than words. I say carefully. I know. That's why I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted to tell you that I'm sorry. For stealing from you. For trying to destroy you. For being so insecure that I couldn't celebrate your success. She takes a shaky breath. You deserved a mother who supported your dreams. Instead you got me. And I'm sorry. The apology feels different than the prison phone call. Less performative. More honest. What have you been doing since you got out? I ask. Working as a receptionist at a dental office. Living in a studio apartment. Going to therapy twice a week. She laughs bitterly. Not exactly the life I imagined at 60. But you're surviving. I am. And I'm learning that surviving with integrity is better than thriving through fraud. She looks at me seriously. I'm also working on making financial amends. I got a payment plan set up for the restitution. It'll take me 15 years to pay it back, but I'm doing it. That surprises me. I didn't expect her to actually follow through on financial responsibility. That's good. I say genuinely. Riley, I don't expect you to have a relationship with me. I understand if you never want to see me again. But I wanted you to know that watching you succeed, really watching it, not trying to tear it down, has been my wake-up call. Tears stream down her face. You built this despite me. Imagine what you would have built with a supportive mother. The thought actually makes me sad. Because she's right. I could have done all this without the trauma, without the pain, without years of therapy to undo the damage. But I also wouldn't be who I am without that struggle. I don't know if I can have you in my life, I say honestly. The trust is broken. The hurt is deep. And I've built something good without you. I'm not sure I want to risk that. I understand. She nods, wiping tears. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. I know I have no right to be, but I am. Thank you for saying that. We stand in silence for a moment. Two people connected by blood but separated by history. Mom, I say finally, I don't forgive you yet. Maybe someday. But not today. That's fair. But I don't hate you either. I'm indifferent. And maybe that's the kindest thing I can offer right now. She nods, understanding. Indifference is better than I deserve. Probably. I turn to go back inside, then pause. If you keep doing the work, real work, not performative work, maybe in another year we can try coffee. One coffee. No promises beyond that. Her face lights up with hope. Really? Maybe. If you respect my boundaries. If you prove through actions, not words, that you've changed. If you give me space when I need it, and show up with consistency when I allow it. I can do that, she says quickly. Then we'll see. I walk back inside, leaving her on the terrace. It's not closure. It's not reconciliation. It's just possibility. And that's all I'm willing to offer. Marcus finds me near the dessert table. Was that your mom? Yeah. You okay? Surprisingly, yes. I realize it's true. I'm okay. Not broken, not angry, just okay. I don't need her to be different. I just need her to respect that I'm different. Deep, Marcus teases, but his eyes are serious. I'm proud of you, boss. The party continues late into the night. Women sharing business cards, mentors connecting with new ments, success stories being celebrated. This is what I built. Not just a company or a foundation, but a community. A family of choice. As I'm leaving, Grandma Helena pulls me aside one more time. I saw you talking to your mother, she says. How was it? Complicated. Sad. But also, okay. Good. She squeezes my hand. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel generous toward her. Some days you won't. Both are valid. Did you know she'd be here tonight? I invited her, Grandma Helena admits. Not to force a reconciliation, but to let her see what you built despite her. Sometimes the best revenge is simply living well. I hug my grandmother tightly. Thank you. For everything. For believing in me when no one else did. For using your resources to help other women. For being the mother figure I actually needed. You've made me proud, sweetheart. Not because of your success, but because of your character. You could have become bitter and vindictive. Instead, you became generous and empowering. As I drive home that night, I think about the journey. From broken and dismissed to successful and respected. From family scapegoat to foundation founder. From daughter seeking approval to woman knowing her worth. 6 years ago, I walked away from a family that didn't value me. Tonight, I walked back into that same hotel with a family I built myself. A family based on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine support. The Monroe family didn't believe in me, so I built something bigger than their belief. The Helena Grant Foundation will continue growing, supporting hundreds of women who just need someone to believe in them, while they learn to believe in themselves. And me? I'll continue building, healing, and proving that the best revenge isn't destruction. It's creation. It's building something so meaningful that the people who doubted you become irrelevant to your story. My mother hired investigators to prove I was lying. Instead, they exposed her fraud and inadvertently freed me from ever needing her validation again. Sometimes the universe has a sense of humor. Sometimes justice serves itself. And sometimes walking away is the bravest thing you can do, not because you're giving up, but because you're choosing yourself. I chose myself 6 years ago, and I'd make that choice again every single time. Because I'm not the disappointment they said I was. I'm the success they couldn't imagine. And that's more than enough. Some people will never celebrate your success because they're too invested in your failure. Walking away from toxic family isn't abandonment. It's self-preservation. And sometimes the people who try to destroy you end up destroying themselves instead. Build your life based on your own worth, not on others' validation. Success isn't about proving doubters wrong. It's about proving yourself right. The best revenge is living well, building authentically, and becoming someone who helps others avoid the pain you endured. Your story doesn't end with their rejection. It begins when you choose yourself.